there by Pat Shaw, the senior.
Pat Shaw makes the tackle.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Buchholz at about the 28-yard line. Clint Alexander, the senior quarterback for the Bobcats, will bring him up to the line. His running backs, number 32, John Gainey, and 44, Wayne Moore. As Alexander looks over the Tiger defense on 1st and 10. And it's Gainey off the right side to about the 30-yard line.
Travis Smith on the stop.
Wrapped up there by Travis Smith.
Ken, last week Lake City had some problems against Gainesville up in Lake City, stopping the Canes' rushing attack. They got a 5-man defensive front. There you saw 2 of their big men on the tackle, Travis Smith, the left end, number 43, and nose guard, Ron Legree, the senior, number 77.
Call it gain of 3, 2nd and 7 now as Alexander again to Moore off the right side, and he bangs up to the 39-yard line. Should have a first down for the Bobcats. Gonna have an official timeout, and it is a first down Bobcats.
That time, Buchholz again went to the right side. They feel they can exploit their right side of the offense, the left side of the Tiger defense. That time, the runner did get through the line and was tripped up by the middle linebacker, senior Craig Camille, number 42.
10:40 to play, first quarter just underway from Citizens Field. As Alexander brings him up. And Alexander back to pass, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down almost immediately. Big number 77, Ron Legree, the senior nose guard, brought Alexander down before he could get the pass off. And it's going to be a loss of about 5 yards back to the 35 of Buchholz. Alexander last week, 8 out of 16 for 86 yards in the win over Jacksonville Reigns. Has yet to throw a pass tonight. This will be the Cats' 4th offensive play. 2nd now and 13 from the 35 of Buchholz. Pitch left. And he's wrapped up and brought down by Will Anderson, junior defensive tackle. Gainey gets to about the 35, about the line of scrimmage, maybe got a half a foot.
Well, Anderson's really got to be a tough kid because Gainey was practically by him, and he's a tough runner to get down under normal circumstances. And you saw there, he just reached out that right arm, grabbed the hold of Gainey, and brought him down with one arm. So Will Anderson, big junior defensive tackle, and showing some good strength there.
Call it 3rd and 12 now for Buchholz at their 35, and the Lake City defense thinking pass, and that's what they get as Alexander drops back to pass and looks. He's got his man Mulberry at the 40 to the 45 and dragged down, but he's going to be short of the first down. Wrapped up there in nice fashion by Doyle Rooks, the defensive back, and that stops that Buchholz drive, and it'll be 4th and about 3.
Well, that time Buchholz flooded the right side. They had a split receiver to the right and a man in the slot, and they ran a tight end drag to Mickey Mulberry after that right zone was cleared out, and he was wide open and picked up some extra yards. So Buchholz moving towards midfield now.
And Johnny Dickerson into punt, standing at his own 30. High snap, but he gets it and gets the kick away. Not a great one. Rooks back deep, but they're just going to let it roll, and it is down inside the 20. Not the prettiest of kicks, but it got the job done, and Lake City will open up 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line under the direction of junior quarterback Don Bradley.
43-yard punt. No return.
43-yard punt that time. And call it 1st and 10 from Lake City's own 18-yard line. Pitch sweep right, left now. And he swarmed under. Ricky Turner, the tailback, stormed under by a host of Buchholz defenders.
Turner carries.
Got maybe a yard. Call it 2nd and 9.
Kevin Peoples on the tackle.
Bobcats picking up where they left off, Ken, last week against Reigns over at Florida Field. A tremendous victory, and that defense was really, really tough against the run. And I don't believe the Reigns offense had a gain of over 10 yards all game long. In fact, they were held to negative yards in the rushing department.
Now on 2nd and 9, Bradley again. On the option right, and there's a fumble. Lake City jumps on it, though, at their own 10. Big loss of yardage, but at least they didn't give up the football. That's what can happen with that option offense, so you have to be careful.
Bradley falls on the loose ball for the Tigers.
Well, credit Robbie Hudson with that play. Big number 64 came bursting through untouched, shook up the quarterback that time, and Don Bradley got a little confused, made his pitch a little earlier than I thought he had anticipated. It was a poor pitch, and it ended up as a fumble and a big loss for the Lake City Tigers.
And a loss of 8, and it'll be 3rd and 17 deep in their own territory for Lake City. Marvin Richardson split wide right on Bradley. No, up the middle. And swarmed under again by the Buchholz defense. Is not going to let that happen. So 4th and forever for Lake City. 25. We're just in the first quarter. 6:39 to play. No score. Ken Tomash, Bobby DeLessio with you from Citizens Field. Thanks for joining us.
Dale Warren that time double team on the center, Mike Mixon. He didn't know who to block. He chose one man. Dale Warren came firing through, untouched again, and Buchholz defense really looking fantastic in the first series.
Eric Eaker to punt for Lake City. Buchholz going to set up the return. Set away, aiming for the sideline. And fair catch called for, but not made by Lamar Thomas, and it's going to take a Lake City roll and be down the Buchholz's edge of the field, about 48. Clock stop, 6:04 to play, opening quarter.
3 offensive plays in punt for Lake City that time. Ken Buchholz picked up 3 yards on that change. They punted from there about their 46-yard line. Had they made the fair catch, they probably would have picked up 15, but nonetheless, another tremendous performance by the Buchholz defense. Very, very impressive here in the early going against Lake City.
And considering the Buchholz offense really didn't get out of first gear last week, the defense might have to do something tonight if things don't get started. And now Alexander Keeps up the middle, gets a few.
Alexander Keeps.
I'm not entirely convinced that was the play called. I think the ball did bobble when Alexander was taking the snap, and he just got a hold of it and plunged forward for a couple of yards.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. About the 48-yard line of Lake City. As Lamar Thomas goes flank left. And it's the big fullback Wayne Moore up the middle for a couple more. No pun intended.
Ron Legree, the nose guard, number 77, the first man to make contact on him, went to strip the ball, and that time you saw that Moore almost lost it, but was able to grab onto it again with 2 hands and pick up a few extra yards with second effort.
Moore got to the 45, where it'll be 3rd and 4 for Buchholz. Richardson split right, Thomas flank left. And Alexander to throw quickly, and he has his man Richardson. That's the first down over the 40-yard line to maybe the 39, depending on where they spot it.
Dickerson made that catch. It was just a quick drop back, 3-step drop, and you got to hand it to Dickerson for being able to hold that ball, because coming up to make the hit was Anderson, and it was a really tough hit by Will Anderson, and immediately as he touched the ball, but good hands that time showed by the senior split end, Johnny Dickerson, number 88.
Down to the 49-yard line as Alexander brings it up on 1st and 10. He can't look around the corner. We've got a flag as Gainey is down at the 40.
There's a flag.
Quite often you'll see a hold in that situation when the defense is able to string out a play on a sweep to one side.
Legree on the tackle.
Buchholz put Johnny McClain in a slot to the left that time and looking for a little power running room on the left side, but Lake City sniffed that one out, and good pursuit by the Lake City linebackers, Craig Camille, number 42, and Eric Eaker, number 47, and we'll wait to see what the call is. And it's going to go against the Bobcats. Tonight's officials, Ron Siders, the referee, George Cooper, the umpire, line judges, Greg Greco, Jim Harvin is the lines judge, and Claudia Siders, the wife of Ron Siders, the referee, is the timekeeper.
And a big 15 yards for clipping on Buchholz, and that'll make it 1st and 25 from the Bobcats' own 45-yard line. Alexander might be looking to get some of it back in a hurry. And he's back to pass. And he's got his man Gainey out of the backfield to about midfield, to about the 49-yard line. So he got about 6 of it back.
Buchholz really looking to stretch out this Lake City Tiger defense with the quick passes. That time Eric Eaker, the linebacker, was sort of looking to play the run, got caught in between, and when you throw those quick passes, it's tough for a linebacker to make the decision which way to go. That time the ball was actually thrown a little bit behind Gainey. He made a nice catch, sticking the ball on his right shoulder pad and then picking up about 6 yards, as you said.
2nd and 19, quick first quarter, 3.5 minutes to play, no scores. Alexander brings them up, and Lake City jumped off sides. Number 77, Ron Legree, a little too anxious to get into the Cats' backfield that time.
Yes, he made contact that time with the center for Buchholz, Harold Monk, the 6'3", 207-pound senior, and they will call encroachment and mark off 5 yards against the Tigers.
We need to come back to the Yes, sir. They'll stay in that same defense, that 50 look, and we need to go
The Tigers are penalized 5 yards for encroachment.
So it is 5 yards for encroachment, make it 2nd and 14 for the Bobcats at the 44-yard line of Lake City. Now Jimmy Norman comes out of the ball game for Buchholz. And Alexander will have Dickerson on the left side. And Lamar Thomas flanked right. And he's back to pass on 2nd and 14. Quick screen out of the backfield to Moore. He's got a block, makes a cut, and gets down to about the 31-yard line. Nice play that time by the Bobcats, but it should be just a little short of the first down, it looks.
We got to have the 2 yards.
Spotted at the 31.5-yard line to make it 3rd and 2. They're about 2 yards short. But it was a nice play. Got a good screen set up out of the backfield, and Moore just used his natural ability as a fullback to cut inside and make a good gainer out of it. And now Alexander brings him up on 3rd and 2 with 2.5 minutes to play opening quarter. Moore again off the left side, and now we've got a pair of flags all over as he's wrapped up by 23 Tad Anderson for Lake City. Clock is stopped now, 2:28 to play first quarter while we check out the flag. There'll be a procedure on the Bobcats, how to move them back 5 and make things a little more interesting on 3rd and 7.
I didn't see anybody else. You do. Unless we want to set it up.
Buchholz has been sticking with primarily their veteran backfield of Wayne Moore and John L. Gainey, but let me tell you, Jimmy Norman, the sophomore last week, made some really big runs for the Bobcats, and I know you're going to be seeing a lot of him this game and the rest of the season. Look for him pretty soon. Number 10, Jimmy Norman, 5'10", 167-pound sophomore with good moves and good quickness.
On 3rd and 7 now for the Bobcats at the Lake City 37-yard line. Alexander over center. Back to pass again on play action. Pressured, throwing long. He's got, oh, he had Dickerson long, and Dickerson just might have taken his eyes off it or lost it in the lights, but pretty play was not to be. And Alexander put it right there, showed that strong arm and nice touch that he's got.
Well, I'll tell you, that height helps too when you're 6'4", and you can see around that defense. He was hit, actually, Ken, as he threw the ball, hit by Skipper Hare, the sophomore linebacker, who was in on the game for the first play. Seeing action on his first play, and he hits the quarterback just enough to throw off his pass, and an incompletion, and Buchholz is forced to punt again.
Dickerson again, his first effort was 43 yards. He'll be aiming for the sideline on this one. Aims for it, but doesn't get it. He'll let it go, but it will be. You can't get much better than this, folks. Inside the 5. About the 3-yard line where it's down by Buchholz. Dickerson doesn't come up with a long pass, but makes a nice punt to pin Lake City deep in their own territory with 1:59 to play first quarter. A quick moving first quarter. It's a scoreless one. Haven't seen a whole lot of offense. Seen some good defense.
Well, Lake City's defense has done the job thus far. If they were going to be in this game, it was going to be their defense that was going to keep them in it, and they've done it so far in the first 2 possessions, although they are in trouble as far as field position is concerned. But credit the Lake City defense, which had some problems against Gainesville last week, for stopping Buchholz on its first 2 drives.
And now Don Bradley, the quarterback, option right again to give us to the fullback, Kip Davis, and he just gets about 1, maybe 2.
Tigers looking for a little breathing room, but they're going to have to do a lot more variation in their offense to move the ball against Buchholz, because Raines couldn't do it last week, and I don't expect this Lake City team, which really doesn't have quite the personnel that Raines does, to move it on the interior of the Buchholz line. They're going to have to try to do some movement to the outside and some quick hits over the middle and vary their offense to move it against Buchholz.
2 yards for Davis to the 5. Call it 2nd and 8 now as Don Bradley, the junior quarterback, is over center. Quick pass across the middle, and it's dropping a nice hit there by 47 Gary Willis for Buchholz. Bradley trying to hit Steve Hacht.
Well, just what I was talking about, looking for a quick pass, and they had the nice play. Bradley delivered the ball to Steve Hacht, but the young sophomore was not able to hold on to it as he was jarred by Willis.
So 3rd and 8 now, and you got to be thinking that Lake City's just going to try to punch it out and get their punter some room, but you never know. We may see something strange. Don Bradley has Hacht wide right. Davis and Turner, the running backs, and now Bradley's back to pass, and he's sacked in the end zone for a safety for Buchholz. Bradley was looking deep. He had Hack going down the right sideline, but before he could get it off, he was clobbered by the Buchholz defense.
Rodney Young, number 57, is going to get credit for the safety, the 5'10 senior, but let me tell you what, the man that made the play was number 22 linebacker Sim Banks. Came through, forced the quarterback to alter his movement, and he was hit from behind from the blind side by the man, as we said, for the safety. But 22 Sim Banks, the first man through, really should get the credit for that play.
So 2-0 Buchholz, and that could turn out to be a 9-point play because now the Bobcats are going to get the ball back. On the safety, Lake City will have to kick the Buchholz. 24 Pasco Williams, 32 John Allegheny back deep, awaiting the free kick after the safety. 57 seconds to play, opening period. 2-0 Buchholz on a safety. Both of these offenses struggled last week, Bobby. It's somewhat appropriate that the defense should come up with the first score.
It sure is, and to tell you the truth, Ken, this might not turn out to be that bad a situation for Lake City. They were really deep in their own territory. Now with a good kick here, they can actually turn the field position around on Buchholz at the price of just 2 points.
Kick not well fielded by Williams at his own 30. He's up across, maybe to the 50, runs into his own man. Ran into big 67 Harold Monk, the 6'3", 207 center.
Flag on the play.
Don't think he'll want an assist in the defensive stats, but that's what he got.
Harold Monk's not used to making tackles. He's the center for the Buchholz team, but he made probably the best hit he's going to make all year than that play.
17-yard return for Pasco Williams, and the Bobcats will open up shop. Up 2-0 with 50 seconds to play in the first quarter at their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10.
And as it turns out, as you see the penalty being marked off against Buchholz, it really wasn't that bad a turn as I see it for Lake City, giving up 2 points, but picking up about 65 yards of turf.
They've been on the short end of the field position exchange most of this first quarter.
With a punt, they might have not only got out to their 30-yard line, so really they might have done a little bit better than they had anticipated with that safety.
Pro set now as Alexander, hands on the counter to Gainey, and he's across the 40 of the midfield and almost broke it, but wrapped up there by Doyle Rooks, who's playing a heck of a ball game.
Brooks brings him down.
Buchholz really disguised that nicely and making some atonement for that tackle. Harold Monk and Robbie Ward, nice trapping block there, and it was a gorgeously concealed counterplay, and as you saw, Gainey with a nice move, and hard man to bring down. Doyle Rooks, the senior linebacker, saved a touchdown with that tackle.
Clock running now, 22 seconds to play opening quarter as Clint Alexander brings his Bobcats to the line. The 49, 1st and 10, and he's back to pass. Another quick pattern looking long, and he's got his man, and he dropped it. Johnny McLean just could not come up with the ball. He was open. Alexander got it to him. Alexander having some tough luck tonight, putting his passes on the money, but
I think Alexander might have had a running play call that time, saw the way the defense had stacked up at the line of scrimmage, then checked off to McLean there, and was a nice pass by the 6'4 senior in the hands, but was not able to be held on to, and it'll go incomplete and bring up a 2nd and 10.
Alexander again with Moore and Gainey, and this is Gainey on the trap play that on the counter that worked so well 2 plays ago, and he gets down to the 40-yard line. Another nice gain for the 5'11", 176 senior, John Gainey, and that's the end of the first quarter. Their score, Buchholz 2 and Lake City nothing. Ken Tomash, Bobby DeLessio with you from Citizens Field in Gainesville on a beautiful night for football. Just starting the second quarter, Buchholz ahead of Lake City 2-0 as we start the second quarter, and with a 3rd and 2 situation from the 41-yard line of Lake City, Clint Alexander of Buchholz brings his team to the line. And the give is to Moore, the fullback up the middle. He may have that first down. Nice run up the middle by the fullback Moore with Lake City Columbia. The defense stacked up in the middle. Appears to have the first down, but they're going to call for the measurement.
Timeout to measure.
Got it by about the length of the football. It'll be first down Cats
First and 10
at the 39-yard line of the Tigers. Robbie Matheny now in at a fullback for the Cats. And there's number 10, Jimmy Norman, we were talking about earlier. And there at tailback, and the pitch is to Norman, and he goes around right in, and he's got a break. Cuts through and gets through the Lake City defense all the way down to the 28-yard line. Call it the 27. Nice run by the sophomore, Jimmy Norman.
Good blocking to the outside by the Cats, right side of their offensive line, and in fact, the nose guard had to come over and make the tackle on that play. Ron Legree.
First and 10 Buchholz, the 28-yard line of Lake City. 2-0 Bobcats. 11:05 to play second quarter. And Alexander calls timeout with 11 minutes to play. Apparently some confusion at the line of scrimmage. Fast-moving game, a defensive struggle so far. In fact, the defense registered the only points of the contest thus far. A safety by Buchholz, trapping Tiger quarterback Don Bradley in the end zone.
Has an injury this week and may only see limited duty against Alabama. We'll know by the time we air this broadcast.
So Alexander breaks the huddle. It's again John Gainey and Wayne Moore are the running backs. Dickerson and Thomas the wideouts. Mulberry the tight end, and Alexander on the counter again to John Gainey. Regain keeps his feet and gets down to about the 16-yard line of Lake City.
Once again, Buchholz running behind the right side of the offensive line. Senior guard Robbie Ward, 6', 200-pounder, and Scott McDonald, a right tackle, 5'9", 206-pound junior. And they really feel that they can exploit that left side of the Lake City defense, and after a little sluggish start, they seem to be doing that just now.
Buchholz offense finally getting in gear behind the senior quarterback Clint Alexander. Is first and 10 at the 16-yard line of Lake City as he looks over the defense, and he's back to pass. Looking for Thomas, and Thomas can't come up with the ball. Had to dive a little bit for it. Ball was a little low. Still probably catchable.
But they still, really though, they didn't have the timing quite down on that pattern there. It was just a quick look into the outside. And as you said, he had to dive for the ball and was not able to come up with it.
It's early in the season. Things will get better for sure. Now John McLean checks back in at a wideout. McLean and Thomas, the wideouts. Mulberry, the tight end. Gainey and Moore, the running backs. And this is Moore up the middle, the fullback to about the 8-yard line.
Wayne Moore carries.
A plunge up the middle, but they call it the 10-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 3. And now Normand is back in as Gainey takes a rest. 3rd and 3, the 10-yard line. Exactly 10 minutes to play in the half. 2-0 Buchholz.
Well, let's see what they call here. They can pretty much go either way. I think they're playing against the run right now.
And it's Norman trying to get to the outside, but no, he is wrapped up there by Lake City.
Yeah, I thought maybe Clint might have checked off and called a pass there. It looked as though the Lake City defense was gearing up for the run, and that's exactly the way it was.
And Lewis Maxwell pulled him down. Norman couldn't get to the outside, though he does have excellent speed. And now on 3rd and 5 from the 11. Cats will bring it up. Thomas in the slot right. McLean split right, and Alexander back to pass into the end zone. And McLean almost came up with a touchdown, but he was slipping. The pass was just a little bit off his shoulder. McLean not able to come up with it. Nice throw, though, by Alexander.
Well, bring up a 4th down. That'll bring on the field goal unit. You got to hand it to Lake City, though. Still just hanging in there against a team which was heavily favored.
Defense playing well, and
although Lake City has given up a lot of yardage, they've been able to keep Buchholz out of the end zone thus far.
Looks like David Frazier going to come in to attempt this field goal.
What's his name?
Then again, obviously that was 4th down, and the ball goes over. Don Bradley, the quarterback, on 1st and 10. The option right again. The fullback carries. Folks don't pay attention to scoreboards all the time. They don't always have the right down.
After all these years, you think I would have learned that by now. Clock running here in the 2nd quarter at the 8:50 mark. And now the Buchholz defense, which probably is, as far as net yards rushing is concerned, has given up about -100 thus far this season. Last week they sacked the quarterback Irvin Cohen 7 times, the Reigns quarterback.
From the 14 on 2nd and 7, Bradley the quarterback. And the give is to the tailback, Ricky Turner, and he gets some running room and gets to the outside before big number 49, Sebron McCray, drags him down for Buchholz.
Yeah, McCray stayed home and played his position. Actually, that time Buchholz's defense was sucked in. It was a nice delay call that time by Bradley, and he disguised it very well. And they got through the line, but McCray was there, one of the inside linebackers, to make the play before any further damage.
Gain of about 4 to the 18-yard line of Lake City. 8 minutes exactly to play, 2-0 Buchholz, as Bradley brings his Lake City Tigers to the line. 3rd and 3, and a quick pass again, but this one is off the hands of Scott Baker. That one was high and behind Baker.
Bradley's pass intended for Baker.
Buchholz defender put a good lick on him there for good measure.
Yeah, they worked on the senior that time. They working on Gary Willis, 6'1" senior, probably the best defensive back that Buchholz has, and ball was not thrown too well. As you saw, it was high, stretched out the receiver, and Willis made him pay with a nice hard hit.
So punting time again, and that's Eric Eaker, senior linebacker who also handles the punting duties for Lake City on 4th and 3. Gets it away, a nice kick despite pressure from Buchholz, and it's Lamar Thomas coming up with the ball, and he gets to midfield, and that's about it, a little to the 49-yard line. Boy, the Bobcats not in such bad position after that punt.
Thomas actually misjudged it. The ball came a little bit in front of him, and he caught it with his fingertips, and then was surprised nobody was around him and realized he could still run.
Lighting is kind of a little strange here at Citizens Field.
37-yard
May have come out of the lights on him.
Well, this game has been played pretty much for the entire.
From the 49 on 1st and 10, Alexander, the Buchholz quarterback. And it's Gainey off the right side, gets a block. They've got a flag down, but Gainey gets out before stepping out of bounds at about the 38-yard line of Lake City. We'll check the flag.
Could be a hold. It was thrown right there in the middle of the line, but you got to credit Gainey picking the holes the way he does. For an average runner, that's just a 2-yard gain, and Gainey turns it into a big one. As we thought, Ken, it looks like it's going to be against Buchholz, and a major infraction looks like holding. Take a look at Ron Siders, the referee there, marking it off. Siders in the white hat.
Bring it back to the 41-yard line of Buchholz, holding. And 1st and 20 now, facing Alexander and his Bobcats.
Well, one of the few problems Buchholz had last week was penalties, and they don't seem to have improved in that department, to be quite honest, thus far in this game.
Back split behind Alexander as he drops the pass again, and he's looking over the middle and misses connections with John Algaini. That one a little out in front of him.
Gainey just made a nice short move out there into the flat, had a lot of green grass in front of him, but again, missed timing by the Buchholz offense. We mentioned earlier that you have to credit this Lake City Tiger defense with thwarting Buchholz, but also Buchholz has done a lot to hurt themselves also. What with the penalty there you saw a moment ago, and poor timing on some of these passes.
Alexander again back to pass. He's pressured, and he flips one over to Wayne Moore. He's got a nice screen set up. He's got blockers. He's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line of Lake City. Nicely set up play by Buchholz. That's the kind of thing they wanted to do, is get Wayne Moore out there isolated on somebody, set up a screen in front of him, and just let him run.
Really was a great call by Coach Warnicki that time. They were in a long passing situation, and the blitz came. They got a hard rush coming, and Alexander really looked as though he was in trouble back there, and then just dropped it off for a nice big gainer for Buchholz.
And credit to good execution by Buchholz on that. 3rd and 6 now, facing Alexander as he's back to pass again, looking on a quick route again, and this one he just overthrew Johnny Dickerson. I'm not sure Dickerson was sure of the pattern he was supposed to run on that. Looks like Alexander threw an out, and Dickerson was going to run a curl. So 4th and 6, and Dickerson will be called on the punt again. And if it's like his other couple of efforts, Lake City might be pinned deep again and have to start off in some pretty bad field position.
Well, he did a great job last week against Rains, and he's off to a great start again today.
22, Lewis Maxwell back deep as the snap bounces past Dickerson. He tries to pick it up and tries to get it off and does get something off. Looks sort of like Ray Criswell against Auburn a couple years ago. And gets control out of it.
Ken, he did something that we saw the Gator punter Ray Criswell do against Auburn, kick one in the end zone. He got that off with his left foot. I mentioned last week I thought he might have been the most versatile athlete on the Buchholz team, and right there he confirmed my suspicion.
Just 21 yards, but what a play that one was. Got it off and down in pretty good position down to the 24-yard line of Lake City, where Don Bradley and company will open shop with 5:53 to play, and Lake City still hasn't generated an offense, but their defense is keeping them in this game, down just 2-0.
You see Coach Al Wernicke on the sideline give a wink to Johnny Dickerson. Thanks, big fella, for getting us out of that hole.
And now Bradley with the give up the middle to Kip Davis, and a flag almost immediately.
Well, that's going to be holding, I believe, or procedure anyway, against Lake City, but just busting right through Sebring McCray there, and I don't know if Buchholz is going to take this penalty or decline it. Let's wait and see. There was absolutely no gain there. Let's see if they decide to push him back 5 yards or take the down.
And they're going to mark this one off. Procedure on Lake City.
Tigers are penalized 5 yards.
So the Tigers will start 5 yards back and go at it on 1st and 15.
That Buchholz 4-4 defense really effective. They run that split 4, if you want to call it that, and 4 men up front. They alternate the inside tackles, and just been doing a great job first 6 quarters of play here in the 1986 season.
Ball in the 19, 1st and 15 as he's leveled. And now Ricky Turner leveled in the backfield. Don Bradley was leveled as he got rid of that ball on the option, and then the tailback Ricky Turner took another devastating hit in the backfield for another big loss.
Linebackers Todd Harrison, the 6'4", 210-pound senior, and Seaman McCray, 5'11" senior, also coming through and making the hits. And again, another loss in the backfield, tackle behind the line of scrimmage for that Buchholz defense. Really doing a superb job and thwarting this Lake City offense at every turn. Good look at the Buchholz sideline, and we're back to action. 2nd and 18 now for Don Bradley and company. Looks like a mismanaged play there, as Bradley has dropped, and so is a flag.
Apparently Bradley lost the football in the exchange there. And a penalty to boot.
And the Buchholz defense finding themselves in that familiar position again, whether to take the loss in the down or push them back even farther with the penalty.
It's kind of a nice decision to have to make.
Again, remember, folks, last week, Rains, a very, very good ball club, minus 37 yards rushing.
We have an announcement for the Columbia County fans. Your band
in fact, overall, it was only I believe, a 33-yard overall offense on the plus side for Rains, as Buchholz's passing defense only gave up 70 yards on 10 passes and 24 attempts for Irvin Cohen. So amazing effort by Buchholz's defense. And they're looking to top it against another 5A team tonight, Lake City's Tigers.
So the Cats decline the penalty and keeps it at 3rd and 18 for Lake City at about their own 12 or 13-yard line. John Bradley comes to the line. And he's looking to pass again. Another flag going off and almost picked off by David Frazier. The Cats find safety.
Bradley's pass.
That time they looked to work on the youngster, Pasco Williams, a junior. They decided, hey, we're not getting anywhere working on Willis on that other side. But David Frazier, the free safety, over there helping Pasco Williams, and the passing game's not going anywhere either. And once again, a yellow flag down against Lake City.
Another procedure penalty. That's 3 on this drive for Lake City.
Illegal procedure.
If you can call it a drive. I'll decline that one and take the punt on 4th and 22. Lamar Thomas back deep for Buchholz. The speedster wide out with 4.4 speed in the 40. With 4:04 to play first half, and Buchholz holding a 2-0 lead. Once again, Eric Eaker to punt from his own end zone. Thomas will stand at the Lake City 45. And Eaker turns it over, gets a nice spiraling punt away, and Thomas fields it at the 45, and he's driven back hard to about midfield by the fine play by the Lake City special teams.
Taken by Lamar Thomas.
Well, Scott Collins that time had a free shot. You don't usually get those, but that time Lamar Thomas, after he made that catch, was just held up there and stood up by Scott Baker, who had on one leg and just waited for some help. And Scott Collins' eyes bugged when he saw a free shot there and made a good hit on Lamar Thomas.
33-yard punt. Thomas lost 5 on the return, so the Cats will open up shop right at midfield. 1st and 10, 3:53 to play, first half. And now Rodney Straughter has taken over for Clint Alexander at quarterback for the Bobcats, and I'm afraid the Bobcat tight end jumped on that one. Flags almost immediately as play was stopped. It should be procedure against the Cats. Clint Alexander doesn't appear to be injured. Apparently, Coach Warnicke just going to go with Rodney Straughter for now.
That time you saw on the bottom of your screen Mickey Mulberry getting a little early out there on the snap count. That sometimes will happen when you bring in a new quarterback. He's used to one type of cadence, and then the new quarterback comes in with a different one, and it throws off the people on the line, particularly the ones on the outside part of the line where the tight end for one is located.
So 1st and 15 now from the Cats' own 45-yard line as Straughter brings them up. And it's Moore. Fullback bangs across midfield, gets some of that yardage back and then some. Spotted just over midfield. So gain of 5.
Straughter, last week Straughter did see a little bit of action against Rains. That time faked a pitch to the outside to freeze the linebackers and then made the inside handoff. And saw the runner there fight for some extra yards and falling forward for a good game.
2nd and 10 is Straughter looking. Quick pass and now over the middle, and Mulberry. Too high for Mulberry. And when you say too high for Mickey Mulberry, you're talking too high, as he's 6'5".
And probably the best leaper out there, too. But he found a nice opening right there in the middle of the field as the defense, the linebackers anyway, had drifted over to the bottom of your screen because they saw that's where the play was flowing. And Straughter, with a nice pump fake to get everybody over to that side, found a man wide open in the middle, just led him a little bit too much.
And now Alexander back in. Apparently, Coach Warnicke just wanted a few words with Clint on the sideline. And he'll take over on 3rd and 10 as Alexander's back to pass and looking, and has his man, the 87, John McLean, to about the 40, maybe inside, may have the first down.
Well, whatever Coach Warnicki told him, it worked, because that time Alexander, which was suffering through a poor passing day, hit McLean right on the button, and just perfectly enough for the first down as he hit him right on that yard marker, and McLean fell forward just to get the nose of the ball over where the Bobcats needed to go for the first down.
Nicely run pattern by John McLean, and Alexander put it right where it had to be. And now Strotter's back in. We're seeing musical quarterbacks with 2:25 to play and a first down at the 40-yard line of Lake City as Strotter runs the option right. Gets a few off right guard.
Well, he fell forward for about 4, but his knee did hit, and it'll only be about a 2-yard gain. Sometimes, you know, Ken, that the coaches will take him out because you can see the way a play is developing and the way a defense is running sometimes a little bit better from the sideline, or maybe just Coach Warnicki wanted to have a few words with him. As you see, Alexander goes right back in for the second down play here, 2nd and 8.
Clock running under 2 minutes, 1:54 to play first half. And Alexander back to pass again. Throwing long across the middle, and it's overthrows Mickey Mulberry, and that one almost picked off by Lewis Maxwell of Lake City.
Alexander intended for Mulberry.
Third and 8 now for the Bobcats.
Lake City defense really doing a good job, particularly the free safety, Lewis Maxwell, number 22, has been all over the field. And Steve Davis and Pat Shaw, the cornerbacks, doing a good job covering the wideouts, Johnny Dickerson, John McLean, and the rest of the Buchholz wide receivers, because the passing game, except for that one pass completion to McLean a moment ago, has not been able to get on track.
3rd and 8, and Alexander back to pass, looking to throw again, and he's got Lamar Thomas down inside the 30, and he's going to be dragged down by the jersey at about the 21. So Alexander's found his touch. He's got the timing with his receivers. Thomas was open on that one, and Alexander drilled it to him. With 1:17 to play, first half.
Tell you what, Kevin White at number 45 got a hand up, and I think he might have got a finger on that ball, but the completion was made, and Alexander got it in the seam there just over that outstretched hand of the linebacker, number 45, Kevin White.
Clock running, 1:05 to play the Bobcats, and now they call timeout, their second timeout of the half.
Timeout, Bobcats.
And the score, Buchholz 2, Lake City nothing. We're back at Citizens Field in Gainesville. Ken Tomash, Bobby DeLessio with you on a beautiful Friday night. High school football. Buchholz against Lake City. 1:05 to play. First half. Buchholz with a 2-0 lead and a first down at the Lake City 21-yard line after a nice hookup between Clinton Alexander and Lamar Thomas. Got it down there, and Alexander's back to pass once again, and he's looking over the middle into the end zone for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, Buchholz. But Alexander may never have seen that completion as he was leveled immediately after he let go of the ball, but he can sure see the celebration afterwards as a beautiful out pattern by Lamar Thomas and hit his favorite receiver right there for the 6. And that makes it 8-0.
Well, Lamar Thomas last week only had 2 catches for 39 yards, but that time the great speed, he just beat the defensive back, Pat Shaw, wide open in the end zone, 5 yards behind everybody for an easy score, and Alexander just laid it out there perfectly.
And the extra point coming off the foot of Robert McCarthy, and he's got it, and it's 9-0 Buchholz.
Well, that's really got to be disheartening for Lake City's defense to be able to fight that hard for about 23 minutes and not give up a touchdown and keep Buchholz out of the end zone and keep their offense without scoring for 23 minutes, and then in the last minute of the first half to give up the touchdown on the big play. But Buchholz came through when it had to, and now they have that 9-0 lead.
And now David Frazier to kick off for Buchholz with Marquis Turner and Ricky Turner back deep for Lake City. This is Ricky Turner at the 10. Across the 20, across the 30 before he's finally brought down there.
Turner on the return.
Nice play on the Buchholz special teams by Lennon Sowell.
Johnny Taylor, that time number 58, thought he had returner dead to rights, but he made a nice dipsy-do move there and left Taylor reaching for air.
First and 10 Tigers at their own 32.
Lake City now will probably go into their quick offense, try to get something before the half, or at least move the ball to give them some momentum going into the half, as the clock runs with 40 seconds to play in this first half, and Buchholz leading 9-0 over Lake City, as Don Bradley brings his Tigers up. 3 wide outs. And Bradley back to pass, play action. He turns it upfield by himself, and he's going to get across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. He's going to make something happen by himself, Don Bradley, the junior quarterback. Should have gotten the first down on that.
Sim Banks on the stop.
Well, he's going to get the first down whether or not. Sim Banks trailed him down from behind and make the tackle, but there's going to be a personal foul, I believe, for a late hit against Buchholz, and I believe the late hit will be charged against number 77, Napoleon Ellis.
So tack some more yardage onto a nice run by Don Bradley and move the Tigers a little closer anyway with 20 seconds to play in the half.
Well, now there's a possibility here for Lake City to do something, as they're all the way down to about the 43-yard line with 20 seconds to go and a couple of timeouts left.
Penalized 15 yards for a personal foul.
I really don't think Ellis that time was intending to make a personal foul. He was just pursuing the play, and it stopped right in front of him, and he tripped over the quarterback.
Clock running, 14 seconds of play on 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line of Buchholz. Don Bradley back to pass. Pressured there and almost dropped and loses the football. Are they going to call that a fumble, or was his arm in motion?
Well, his arm was going forward when he was hit from behind by Rodney Young, and I really think they ought to call that an incomplete pass.
Tigers recover the loose ball.
But time has expired here in the first half, so the question is moot. Or will they give Lake City one more play? Buchholz had started for the dressing room.
Nope, they say the Tigers were able to get a timeout in before the clock did run out, but they are calling that a fumble. So what they're going to say is that the ball was dislodged from the quarterback Bradley's hand before it did go forward. His arm definitely went forward, but I believe that time that the hit was made by Rodney Young before he started his motion forward. So it's ruled a fumble, but Lake City was able to recover.
So one last play for the Tigers on 2nd and 17. No time showing on the clock. Apparently there's a little left. Time enough for one play. 9-0 Buchholz, a safety and a touchdown pass from Clint Alexander to Lamar Thomas has all our points.
Ken, why is it that the last play of a half for a game always takes longer than all the others?
Well, it takes longer if you call timeout twice in a row, as Lake City has just done. Apparently they couldn't get enough done in the first timeout. If you have 3.5, may as well use them all. Well, can't bank them. Well, Buchholz's coaches have all left the box next to us, so apparently they're not too worried about whatever's going to go on this last play.
We might have to put a word in with the FHSAA to change that rule. It's illegal in basketball, call consecutive timeouts. Story of the first half has been the Buchholz defense, much as it was last week against Rains. Bobcat defense, fantastic last week against Rains. Minus 37 yards in the rushing game. Overall, gave up an 43-yard total offense for Rains, and I would have to say that if Lake City is in the positive side, it's not much over 10.
And now one last play on 2nd and 17 as Don Bradley has his Tigers, and he's back to pass. The horn sounds, but Bradley's going to throw long over the middle and has his man, and now he pitches off to Ricky Turner, and Turner may go. He almost went all the way, but he stepped out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Fantastic call. The old Miami Dolphin play that the Dolphins ran in the playoffs against San Diego a couple of years ago.
In 81, Scott Baker took the out. It looked like he would just be tackled to end the first half, but he pitched it off to Ricky Turner, and Turner was going down the sidelines looking he was going to score, and if he hadn't stepped down at the 7, we'd be talking about a 9-7 game instead of a 9-0, so lightning almost struck here. But the first half is history from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Buchholz 9, Lake City nothing.
Surprise of the first half. I didn't think that most people anticipated that Lake City's defense would be able to match up with Buchholz as well as it had, but you have to give them credit, particularly in the secondary. They've done a good job thwarting Clint Alexander's passing attack. As you said, towards the end there, they did get something clicking. Lamar Thomas showed that great speed to get open in the back of the end zone and beating his man, but it wasn't until the 59-second mark of the first half that the Buchholz offense was able to muster something. 2 points put on early in the first quarter by the defense.
David Frazier will
and now David Frazier to kick off. Again, deep, Ricky Turner and Marquis Turner for Lake City.
Marcus Turner and Ricky Turner are deep.
And the kick is a low one, and it's Ricky Turner at his 14-yard line. Takes it up the middle before he's dropped down. Now he gets to the outside and spins around. Only one man, David Frazier, the kickoff artist, and he knocks him out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds by David Frazier.
Frazier, the kicker, making a nice play to bring down the pursuit there. He was lagging behind the rest of the men as they went down the field, and he was able to make the play on Turner.
Everybody thought he was down, and I think Buchholz special team let up a little bit there. He bounced off one man. I think it was number 41, Grady Brown, and then got to the outside before, as you said, David Frazier took the angle and got him out of bounds there at about the 46-yard line. So best field position of the game thus far for Lake City's Tigers, starting it off here in the second half.
Don Bradley on 1st and 10 from his own 47, and he's back to pass. Throwing over the middle, and he's got Ricky Turner at the 40, spins around, and he's going to go down at the 35-yard line in the hands of that man, David Frazier again.
David Frazier makes a stop.
That time the front wall of Lake City, Mike Mixon is center, 79, George Abney, the left tackle, got some good blocks as Buchholz was coming hard from the outside with Robbie Hudson and Rodney Young, but great protection that time for Lake City and their quarterback. Plenty of time to throw, and Don Bradley delivered the ball.
28-yard gain on the pass completion from Don Bradley to Ricky Turner. And the Tigers will set up shop now at the 35, 1st and 10, 11:25 to play, third quarter. Pitch right to Ricky Turner, snowed under by that Buchholz rushing defense again.
Ricky Turner carries.
Buchholz defense that time sniffed that play out. Kip Davis, the running back, the fullback, was the lead block. He took out Robbie Hudson, but the contained man, but Hudson did the job by turning the play back in, and right there was the rest of the Buchholz defense to come on. So Hudson, although he was blocked out of the play, did what he had to do, turned the play inside, and as a result, the play didn't really gain much.
Call it loss of 3, 2nd and 13 now for Lake City. Scott Baker split wide left as there's a quick pass that almost come up with, but not quite. Lewis Maxwell in there on offense for a change. Pass a little high, tried to get one hand on it and couldn't do so.
Well, Bradley had to throw a jump pass that time, and the reason he had to, he was throwing over the outstretched left arm of big number 84, Todd Harrison, who stands 6'4". So he had to loop that a little higher than he had liked, and as a result, play went incomplete. Good play by Todd Harrison, getting the hands up.
3rd and 13 now, except for the final play of the first half. This is Lake City's deepest penetration of the night. As Baker goes split left, 3 wideouts now for Lake City as Bradley is back to pass on 3rd and 13, rolling left and looking over the middle, and he's got Turner again, but he's down short of the first down, had to get to the 25, only made to about the 27. So they kept the play in front of him and made the tackle. Now, will we see Lake City go for it on 4th down? Haven't been able to get anything done thus far on offense up till now. Now they've mounted a drive.
Bradley's running some sprint outs, and he's getting some great blocking. That time, the middle of the line, Mike Mixon, Doug Davis, and number 60, Tim Hawks, threw a great block that time, burying his man. So right now, Columbia County with getting some good blocking as they send 2 men split to the left.
And they're going to go for it on 4th and 2. Bradley with 2 men split left, 3 men in the backfield, and turns on the counter. Went for it. That's going nowhere against the Buchholz defense. Big loss, and Buchholz has held on 4th down. That play really didn't get off well at all. They looked like they tried to run the counter. They just didn't execute at the point of attack.
That's exactly right. They didn't get the blocks they needed to at the line of scrimmage. Robbie Hudson, number 64, Dale Warren, number 14, right there to stuff the play at the line of scrimmage. Good call, but just didn't have the execution. The ball goes over to the Bobcats on downs at the 30-yard line.
Alexander now started off slowly thanks to a few drop passes, some missed timing, and now he's got on 1st down, and it's a bang up the middle. 26, Keith Howell, the fullback.
Keith Howell carries.
Gets a couple. Call it 1 to the 31.
Columbia County linebackers are really reacting well to the play. Craig Camille, number 42, the middle linebacker. Eric Eaker, number 47. Playing really quickly to get up on the ball, make the hit at the line of scrimmage while they can get some help from their linemen. So they're not allowing Buchholz to get the ball over the line of scrimmage where the running backs can make some moves in the open field, as opposed to the first half when Buchholz was breaking through that defensive front of Lake City.
And now John Allegheny comes out, and Johnny Norman, the sophomore, goes in. Might see something from Norman. And Alexander back to pass. And he hits Mulberry, and Mulberry is hit hard by Doyle Rooks, who's playing a whale of a game from his defensive back position, breaks up the pass. Leaves it 3rd and 8, Buchholz.
We said it all game long. This Lake City secondary has done a great job. That time, Doyle Rooks, perfect coverage. They made the completion, but Mulberry was driven straight back as soon as he caught the ball. Except for that one touchdown pass in the first half to the speedy Lamar Thomas, Lake City secondary has been just about flawless.
3rd and 8 now at the 32 as Alexander is back to pass again, rolling left, pressure. Gets it to Gainey. Gainey's got a couple of blockers in front of him, but can't get through quite enough. He's going to be just about a yard, maybe 2 short of the 1st down.
Johnny Allegheny in the open field. A good call on that screen again. Travis Smith came rushing through. They set it up and disguised it nicely. But again, Craig Camille, the little linebacker, the middle linebacker also just all over the ball, and they can't seem to keep him away from the ball. And he got the hand in there to trip up Gainey before the 1st down was able to be reached.
Dickerson to punt on 4th and 3. His last one was an adventure. And this one is too. The snap goes way over his head, back down into the 5. If he gets this one off, he's going to the Hall of Fame, and he doesn't. Down to the 3-yard line where he's powdered by Eric Eaker.
There's only so many things you can ask a punter to do. As you said, that would have been the Hall of Fame.
Dickerson is 6'3", but he would have had to have been about 7'3" to get a handle on that one. And now the first really big break for the Lake City Tigers as Don Bradley has the offense down now at the 5-yard line after the turnover. And if they can capitalize here, we got a brand new ball game. 8 minutes to play and the clock running on 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
Well, for the first 6 quarters, it's been the best Buchholz defense I've ever seen this year. Let's see if they can keep it up right now. They were going to have to.
Bradley rolling option right. Pitched it to Marcus Turner, and is he going to get around the corner? No, he's run out of bounds at about the 2. They're going to mark it. It's on the far side of the field from us, hard to tell.
Marcus Turner carries.
Great move by Marcus Turner. He saw Kevin Peoples right in front of him. Peoples was there, and he made a little scat move to the outside, and Peoples ran him out of bounds, but he did pick up a yard.
2nd and goal now. Looks about the 2.5, 3-yard line.
Clifford Bell in the middle of that line, number 75 for Buchholz, leading that charge.
Kip Davis and Marcus Turner, the running backs, behind Don Bradley on 2nd and goal, and now we've got a flag, maybe too much time. No. Lake City celebrating. Must be a penalty on offside Buchholz. That'll give them half the distance more. So moving a little closer. Now down to the 1-yard line on 2nd and goal. Richardson goes wide right. Scott Baker flank left, and Turner and Davis, the running backs, behind Bradley. And the give up the middle of the fullback, he's not going anywhere. Does not get in.
We got a good surge in there. We got a good surge.
Good push that time by the defensive front. George Fleming, number 71, was in there to make this initial hit. And again, they deny Columbia County the goal line.
So 3rd and 1 now coming, 3rd and goal.
Come on, baby. No, they're going straight up the gut. 6 inches.
Again, Richardson right. Scott Baker left. Wide. Turner and Davis, the running backs. And Bradley takes it himself, and he's over for the touchdown.
Bradley takes touchdown.
Keeping right over the center.
Don Bradley
Dives over for a yard for the touchdown.
That's exactly what he did. He had a quick count, and Bradley took the snap and followed Mike Mixon his center and Steve Williams his left guard and got into the end zone. He got under before the Buchholz defense could react, and it was that quick count and that quick snap that caught Buchholz a little bit off guard, a little flat-footed, and the hard surge from the Lake City offense gets them into the end zone.
Doyle Rooks now, he does everything for Lake City, seems like, to kick. Gets the point after, and it's 9-7 Buchholz with 7:01 to play in the 3rd quarter. So the big break, the high snap that went all the way down to the 5-yard line. And Lake City able to capitalize, scoring their first touchdown, and 9-7 now. Now Rooks to kick it off.
Pasco Williams and John Algainey.
John Algainey, Pasco Williams, the deep backs. The Tigers have closed to 9-7. A big turnover. They capitalize on the turnover. And they're back in the ball game. Brooks's kick gets away from John Algainey. He has to take it back deep in his own end zone, and he's going to bring it out, and he's going to be snowed under there at about the 5 or 6 yard line.
Well, Algainey had a predicament there. He caught the ball right about at the 1.5, 2 yard line. His momentum as the ball got behind him carried him into the end zone. There was no way he was able to get it down it for a touchback as he fielded it outside the goal line. So he had to run it out, and he was swarmed under at about the 5.
Now we got a flag to boot. Somebody on Buchholz may have unsportsmanlike conduct. Somebody may have said a few words. Might have been Gainey himself.
Well, I think that actually, Ken, is going to go against Lake City, which would give Buchholz a little breathing room. Let's wait for the call.
And yes, it is. Someone may be a little over anxious there.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Joe Montgomery, who is also the athletic director up at Columbia County Lake City High School, is just livid on the sideline with that call. Brings it all the way up to the 29-yard line of the Bobcats. First down.
And Alexander would like nothing more than to have his offense answer back here with a 9-7 lead and 6:47 to play. And now Lake City jumps offside. Big Ron Legree jumping over.
He got in between that hole between the left guard Clint Lavender, number 66, and center Harold Muck, number 67. He was not drawn offsides, and it will be encroachment against Legree, and it'll be 1st and 5 for the Bobcats now from about the 29.
5 yards for encroachment.
First and 5 now, Buchholz. The give is to number 26, and he gets over to about the 40-yard line. Keith Howell again. Fullback, that's enough for a Buchholz first down to the 39-yard line.
Again, Buchholz working that right side, going behind Scott McDonald and Robbie Ward. Doyle Rooks, the linebacker, coming over to make the tackle that time on Keith Howell. Keith Howell, really a stocky kid, 5'8" only, but 192 pounds. He's a junior.
First and 10, Buchholz from the 39 as Alexander gives once again to Howell, and he bangs across.
And Howell is like a bowling ball, a little cannonball out there, pounding into people. He just wants to hit somebody. He doesn't go down hard. That time, the man in his way was John L. Gainey. He said, "Get out of my way, John L. Block somebody, or I'm blocking you." He hit him and then pushed forward for a couple of extra yards. Hard running by Keith Howell.
John McLean back in on a wide out. Lamar Thomas, who caught the touchdown pass, is flanked left. Howell and Gainey, and this is Gainey. Up to about the 48-yard line, 49.
Tackle by Evans.
Setting up 3rd and 2 for Buchholz.
Tackle that time by Richard Evans, number 71 for Lake City. He is in for Ron Legree, the starting senior nose guard, who was injured a little bit earlier. Craig Camille, again, also in on that tackle. But let's see if Legree is out for an extended period of time.
And they give, once again, to Gainey, and he gets some more good yardage.
He pulled that damn ball by throwing it out the field. When he goes down, does he...
Tackle by Rooks and Camille.
He's down inside the 45, and now they're going to spot it about the 46. But that's enough for a first down for Buchholz either way.
Tiger 35.
Well, you can see right there where Lake City is missing its nose guard, Ron Legree. And Will Anderson, the right tackle, is really getting a workout. He's been getting double teamed, and he walked that time back to his defensive huddle with his hands on his hips. Looks like he's a little winded.
Well, now Legree is back in there, but Mulberry jumps offside.
It's twice Mickey Mulberry has done that in this game. And that's going to go 5 yards against Buchholz and put them back in their own territory.
Buchholz is penalized.
Of course, the first time Mulberry was off time with that procedure penalty, it was with the backup quarterback in there, Rodney Straughter, and that time it was with Clint Alexander calling signals. So maybe it wasn't the cadence count.
Howell and Normand in the eye behind Alexander. And they give us to Normand, and he is slammed. Shaken up by Craig Camille, who's just one of the Lake City defenders playing a whale of a ball game.
Camille is the player of the game thus far in my book. He's just been all over the field, and Buchholz's offensive linemen just have not been able to get out and block him.
So 2nd and 17 now on the loss.
Camille wears number 42. He's in the middle of the defensive scheme for Lake City. Can't see him right now.
Yeah, this is Normand again, and he breaks one. One man to beat it. He turns him over and drops him.
Flag is down on the play. Jimmy Normand, who created some excitement last week, and that time the man he beat right in the middle of the field was Craig Camille. He put a nice move on him.
But Lewis Maxwell stopped the play and snuffed it out, but we're going to have illegal use of the hands against Buchholz. And that'll bring him back some more.
Mickey Mulberry not looking too happy there, and it may have been against him. Take a look at the defense there as Ron Siders marks off the penalty.
Back to the 49 for illegal use of hands.
10 yards holding.
That'll bring up 2nd and 17 for the Bobcats. Just short of midfield once again.
3:35 to play, 9-7 Buchholz. 3rd quarter. Alexander with Howell and Gainey behind him, split. And now Alexander back to pass. Looking deep across the middle, he's got his man, Johnny Dickerson. Down to about the 38-yard line.
Alexander.
Once again, a timing pattern. Buchholz likes to run those.
Well, Lamar Thomas that time really went deep down the left sideline and drew 2 Lake City defenders, including the free safety Lewis Maxwell, and it left Johnny Dickerson with single coverage. And Dickerson has good speed of his own, not quite as fast as Lamar Thomas, but when he's in single coverage, a lot of times he can get open. And you have to credit the Buchholz offensive line that time Tell you what, Clint Alexander could have signed some autographs back there. He had all the time in the world to throw that ball. Best protection of the game thus far.
And now Norman checks back in. It's Normand and Howell in the eye behind Alexander. Thomas and Dickerson the wideouts, and they give us to the second man through. Normand gets a couple. We're going to be short of the first down by about a yard, yard and a half.
Little change in the Buchholz offensive front. Scott McDonald, who's a linebacker, is in playing right tackle now, replacing the starting right tackle for the Bobcats. No, that's right. Scott McDonald is in there, but we've got Robbie Ward who came out.
And the Cats will go for it on 4th and 1. Double tight end set, and they give us to Howell, and he bursts across. It looks like, does he have it? It's going to depend on the spot of the ball. Lake City says he didn't. Buchholz not making any motion at all. And after we untangle things, he had to get to the 35, and from where they're standing, it doesn't look like he made it. And he did not. The Lake City defense holds on 4th down. That's got to fire them up.
1st and 10, Columbia County.
So they've gone down and scored to close the gap to the 9-7 here in the third quarter, and now to have stopped the Buchholz offense that looked like it was starting to awaken from its slumber. Lake City will take the ball over at their own 36-yard line. A minute and a half to play. Third quarter, 9-7 Buchholz. And Don Bradley looking to make things happen. He's got Marvin Richardson split left. 3 backs in the backfield. And they gave us to Marcus Turner, but he doesn't get anywhere. Might have lost a yard.
Well, I think that's the first time that they used that 3-back set, but it didn't fool Rodney Young, one of the outside linemen, defensive end, if you will, for Buchholz in that 4-4 defense.
Loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Under a minute now to play in the third quarter. From the 35, Bradley will have the 2 Turners and Kip Davis in his backfield. Let's give us to Turner, and he is, no. Taken down Bradley.
Bradley keeps.
On the option.
I think that might have been looking that time for 88 Marvin Richardson, the wideout, who was on the bottom of the screen, but he had single coverage with Pasco Williams, and Pasco was all over him, and he had to take that ball himself and run it on the option play, as you said.
Glad one of us saw it. Now at the 34 on 3rd and 13. Just 8 seconds to play in the third quarter. They may get this play off. They may not. Bradley, and they do just get it off before the end of the third quarter. The horn sounds, and Bradley is snowed under.
Bradley.
Sacked by the Buchholz defense, and that'll end that threat.
George Fleming, number 71.
Sacked by Rodney Young.
And that'll end the third quarter as well. A quick one where we saw Lake City come back and close to within 2 at 9-7 on a 1-yard touchdown run by quarterback Don Bradley. 12 minutes now to play. Buchholz 9, Lake City 7.
JV football team opened the season this week with a 50-0 win over Orange Park. The score was 24-0 at the end of the first quarter, 42-0 at the half. The JV Cats play again this Wednesday evening here at Citizens Field against GHS. Game time is 7 o'clock. This is a change to the original schedule. Buchholz against GHS, JV football, Wednesday night here at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. 12 minutes to play from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Ken Tomash and Bobby D'Alessio with you on a beautiful night as Buchholz has taken a 9-7 lead here going into the final 12 minutes against the Lake City Tigers. And now Lake City facing a 4th and 20. Sends Eric Eaker into punt with Lamar Thomas deep for the Bobcats. Punt is away. Not a bad kick. Thomas coming up on it, and he was He was nailed before he could even get to the ball. 55, Steve Williams down on coverage and just came into Lamar Williams a little too early. Lamar Thomas a little too early.
Lamar Thomas getting up a little slow, and took a nice hit from Steve Williams. Of course, it was illegal.
28-yard punt. Obviously no return, but they'll get some yardage on the penalty.
Well, this will be what Buchholz was accustomed to in the first half, starting their offense in Lake City territory. Really, Ken, if you look at the way the game has progressed, each time it seems on the exchange of possessions, except for that one where Buchholz messed up on the punt, they have really gained each time a few yards on each change of possession.
That's been a big part behind the reason that they're up 9-7 now. They've won the battle of field position all day.
Interference on the catch against the Tigers. Refused.
So they're going to refuse the penalty.
44.
And it'll be first down, Bobcats, at their own 49-yard line. 11:55 to play. We're just underway in the fourth quarter from Citizens Field. And Dickerson goes wide right with John McLean in the slot right. And Alexander is back to pass on 1st and 10. Looking over the middle, he's got his man Dickerson. And Dickerson is down to about the 36-yard line of Lake City.
Well, the two biggest completions that Clint Alexander has had this game, he hasn't seen either one. The touchdown pass to Lamar Thomas 59 seconds ago in the second quarter, and on that time he was smashed by nose guard Richard Evans, hit hard to the ground, but he did make that completion to Johnny Dickerson.
There we see them looking over Lamar Thomas, who was shaken up on that punt return. Hopefully he's not too badly injured. And Buchholz now with a 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line, and Alexander gives to Norman, and Norman gets maybe a yard.
Well, we see Ron Legree back into the game for Lake City. Their starting nose guard was out for a while, and you see the difference he made. Great penetration that time, beat Harold Monk after the snap, and he sort of bollocks that whole play up, and as a result, very, very little gain, if any, for Buchholz on that play. Ron Legree, 77.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9, 35-yard line of Lake City. Alexander back to pass on 2nd and 9. Looking, and he's got Mulberry at the 32. Mulberry using that big frame to spin down and through. Tad Anderson, the defensive back for Lake City. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a 6'5" tight end, is use that size to your advantage to catch the ball and turn upfield. And that's exactly what Mulberry was able to do on that play. Alexander now starting to click, as we saw him in the midway through the second quarter. Now that he's got his hands back on the ball, he's doing it again. Now the starters, Wayne Moore and John Gainey, back in the backfield for Buchholz, as John McLean and Anthony Dickerson go wide, and this is to Moore up the middle. Moore with a good gain, he bursts it, he may go, and he is in for the touchdown. Looked like he might have been stopped, but used his good agility and speed to break through the middle of that Lake City defense and go in for the touchdown.
It was Gary Willis, number 47, who had the chance, but he couldn't bring him down. The safety was not able to make the play, and as you saw, all the way for the score, and Buchholz comes back with a touchdown.
19-yard touchdown run for Wayne Moore. And Robert McCarthy will attempt the point after to make it 16-7. 10:23 to play in the game. Kick is up. McCarthy got it. 16-7 Buchholz. A 19-yard touchdown run by fullback Wayne Moore. Now Robert McCarthy, who kicked the point after, ready to kick off. Marcus Turner and Ricky Turner back deep for the kickoff. kick by McCarthy over towards the sideline, and Ricky Turner from the 3. Across the 15, and now it's a handoff. 80, Alonzo Timmons. He's still going. Flags down. A little deception by Lake City.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. That's going to come back. Because Craig Camille handed that ball off to Kip Davis, who pitched it back that time to Richardson. But when he handed it off to Davis, he actually handed it forward, and that's illegal. So that's going to come back. You have to hand it off backwards. So he handed it forward, hit the ball, and then the second pitch was legal, the one which went to Richardson. But it's going to come back because the handoff to Davis was a forward handoff.
We're still working on Lamar Thomas over on the sideline, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him again tonight, especially if the score stands up. And they do march it back on Lake City to about the 9-yard line.
Columbia County penalized half the distance.
So the trickery does not work.
Tell you what, though, Ken, you got to credit the head coach of Lake City, Columbia County, Joe Montgomery, and a great play at the end of the half out of the Miami Dolphins playbook from a couple of years ago, and another razzle-dazzle play there that could have gone for big yardage had it been executed correctly. But Joe Montgomery here in his first year at Columbia County has installed a new offense, and it's very exciting.
But the story of the night has been bad field position, and they've got it again from their 8. Don Bradley back to looking for the option now to Marcus Turner. Turner is dropped by the Buchholz defense. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Todd Harrison, great penetration from the outside, forced the play in, and Buchholz defense came through.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 from the 5-yard line. Bradley has been exciting tonight. He's made some things happen on his own. Running the ball, hit a couple of passes. But he's in a hole now from his own 5-yard line on 2nd and 14, 9:34 to play in the game. And now Bradley with another quick pass, and again, does he hit Baker? No. It was behind him. Baker slipped. Scott Baker, the senior, as the throw again was behind him. They ran that play earlier, and that pass was behind him then. It was behind him then this time.
Quick drop that time by the junior quarterback, Bradley. Gary Willis was on the coverage, but as you said, a bad pass behind the receiver. Bradley really hasn't had time to get the ball to his receivers. He's got some good ones. Kip Davis, number 44. Marcus Turner, the tailback's a good receiver. And, of course, Alonzo Timmons, number 80, and Marvin Richardson, number 88. He just hasn't had the time.
Well, 3rd and 14, again to the same play, and Baker catches it this time, but he paid for it. 47, Gary Willis.
Bradley's pass taken by Baker.
What Columbia High is doing right now, you can see that there's been some changes made by Coach Joe Montgomery. He sees that his quarterback is not getting the time to throw with a 7-step drop, so he's just going a 3-step drop and looking for some quick hits to the tight end and to the wide receivers cutting across the middle because of the hard rush from Buchholz.
And now Eric Eaker to punt again on 4th and 6. With Pasco Williams deep for the Bobcats. Lamar Thomas still on the sidelines, and this snap, a fake punt. 44, Kip Davis took the snap and just took off. Apparently Joe Montgomery's not afraid to do anything.
He's got a great offense. He takes some chances deep in your own territory. Make a move like that on 4th down, fantastic. And I'll tell you what, that was a touchdown. Alonzo Timmons, the wide receiver, number 80, got his feet tangled up with the runner, and that's the only reason he went down. Tripped over his own man at about the 40-yard line, fell forward to the 45. So Montgomery, again, coming up with a great call on the sideline, and new life for Lake City, but they still trail by 2 scores.
See what's left in the bag of tricks. As we see 13, Steve Davis, a new quarterback for Lake City, and the pitch goes to Turner, and Turner spins and makes his way down inside the 45-yard line of Buchholz. That's another 1st down for Lake City.
Hard running by him. James Dennis had a shot at him. Clifford Bell had a shot at him. He bounced off people up forward for a gain of about 13 yards. Lake City is absolutely showing no quit. And the Bobcats want to talk it over. And well, they should.
8:26 to play in the game. 16-7 Buchholz.
The volleyball team will be in Jacksonville Wednesday to take on Fletcher and Sandalwood. The team will participate in the Santa
But Lake City mounting a drive with 8:26, and they need to do this a couple of times.
For the first time this season.
They need to go down and score here and then get the ball back and either get a field goal or another touchdown.
5 with the varsity contest at 7.
And the way their offense now starting to click with a deception here and a nice run up the middle there.
Will be in Middleburg tomorrow morning.
Would be a very interesting final 8.5 minutes.
It begins at 8:30 tomorrow morning in Middleburg. The Buchholz freshman football team will open its season this Tuesday night here at Citizens Field against Eastside. Game time is 7:30. The freshman Cats are also home the next week, Tuesday, September 30th, against Lake City. Game time 7 o'clock here at Citizens Field.
So the Cats have talked things over, and we're set to go at 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line of Buchholz. First down, Lake City. Don Bradley again, the quarterback. He's got Kip Davis and Ricky Turner in the eyes as tailbacks. Scott Baker wide right as 3 wide receivers in the game. And Bradley now on a reverse. Reverse to Lewis Maxwell, and he's going to throw the ball long. Broken up there nicely by Gary Willis. Fight down there for the ball between Scott Baker and Gary Willis.
For Scott Baker.
So now I guess we have just about seen everything from the bag of tricks of Joe Montgomery.
Fantastic. He's got the defense running one way, reverse to Lewis Maxwell, and then Maxwell just let it go. But staying home, Gary Willis.
Luckily, Willis didn't bite on the red pass initially and then didn't bite on the reverse.
Well, 2 of the 3 men in the secondary for Buchholz are senior, Gary Willis and David Frazier, and they both played outstanding games today.
Now on 2nd and 10 for Lake City from the 43. Now the give this time is to 22. Lewis Maxwell, and he gets down to the 30-yard line.
Maxwell carries.
Gorgeous counterplay that time. Buchholz defense a little bit too aggressive. Sim Banks got caught inside, and the runner just got by him and into the open field, and a huge gain. And really, Columbia High's offense is really clicking here in the second half, and they're exploiting Buchholz's over-aggressive defense.
Down to the 19, 1st and 10. 8 minutes exactly to play in the game. Kip Davis and Ricky Turner in the eye behind quarterback Don Bradley. Bradley now the pitch to Ricky Davis, looking off the left side, and he gets around the corner, heading for the sideline before he's finally chased out of bounds, pushed out by David Frazier, who's played a good game in the defensive backfield for Buchholz tonight.
Got a great block from the running back, Kip Davis, on one of the Bobcat linebackers before the David Frazier, who also does kickoffs, and as we mentioned, plays free safety, was able to save the touchdown, but they're already down to the Buchholz 15-yard line. This is the farthest penetration for the Lake City offense in the ballgame.
7:41 to play on 1st and 10 from the Buchholz 15. Bradley has Richardson wide right. Davis and Turner in the backfield. First man through is Kip Davis. Maybe 2.
Davis carries.
George just ain't got it.
Tackled by Warren and Young.
So a gain of 2, call it 2nd and 8. With 7:21 and the clock moving. 16-7 Buchholz over Lake City. Now Lewis Maxwell and Marvin Richardson go wide to the left. Scott Baker wide right. Davis and Turner in the backfield. And the option right, and the pitch is to Ricky Turner again. And Turner turns around the corner, and he may go, and he is in for the touchdown, Lake City. They got a good block there again by Kip Davis. Made a good block on the linebacker. 14, Dale Warren is going to complain that he was held, but no flag.
Fantastic execution that time by Lake City and their junior quarterback, Don Bradley. He waited till the last second before he pitched the ball, and he was drilled by linebacker Robbie Hudson, but he got the pitch off, and the man scooted into the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Lake City, and they're back in it.
so Doyle Rooks will look to kick the point after. That will make it 16-14. Apparently, the Tigers will go for two. Bradley has Davis and Turner behind him. 3 wide outs. And rolling right is Bradley. He throws and it's batted away by the Buchholz defense, so they hold. And now Lake City would need a field goal just to tie.
Well, it was Gary Willis combining with Sim Banks on the play, and I think Banks might have got shaken up a little bit. Banks was run into by Gary Willis. He got his hand up to deflect it, and Banks shook up a little bit on the play, but he's coming off under his own power. So the Buchholz defense holds on the 2-point conversion attempt.
And so Doyle Rooks, to whom it may come down later in this game if the Tigers have to kick a field goal to try and tie it, he will kick off from the 40. Gaining a Norman deep in the kickoff. Bad kick down to fallen on at the 40, about the 46-yard line by Sebron McCrae, playing a little up on the kickoff unit for Buchholz.
Well, that wasn't an onside kick, I don't believe. I think Rooks just missed the ball.
Did not get a good fit and foot into it at all.
Clearly, Sebron McCrae just did the wise thing, fell on the ball, and let Clint Alexander try to move the team. Didn't try to pick it up.
If you're wondering about Lamar Thomas, he is on the sideline with ice on the back of his neck. Apparently took a jolt when he fielded that punt return earlier in the game. And now with 6:43 in the clock running to play in this game, Buchholz with a 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Alexander has Wayne Moore and Jimmy Norman in his backfield, and this is a pitch right to Norman. Gets a good block and cuts to the outside before he fumbles the ball. But Buchholz on the recovery.
Norman carries. Second down and 7.
Well, Norman had the open field, but he was stripped from behind. But Ken Smeismer was the man who made the recovery. Smeismer in, replacing the injured Robbie Ward, who's out on the sideline right now. So I believe that's Smeismer who came in to replace Ward, and he comes up with the fumble recovery, and a crucial one it was.
Now on 2nd and 6, Alexander with a give, and he fumbles the ball, and there's no way Buchholz is going to get this one. Lake City has recovered.
Incredible penetration that time by number 77 for Lake City, and a hard hit put down by Ron Legree. Legree had Alexander wrapped up in his arms, and they were both laying next to the ball. Neither one knew where it was, but Eric Eaker came in from his linebacker position to make the recovery, and now from the 30-yard line, Lake City with a chance to go in to take the lead.
5:45 to play, and confidence sky high on the Lake City sideline.
We mentioned earlier when Ron Legree was out, what a difference it made for the Lake City defense, and the big nose guy with a huge play, the biggest one of the game thus far.
The pitch right is to 32, Ricky Turner, and he is strung out of there by David Frazier.
Lake City right now, Ken, is beating Buchholz to the outside. And if it wasn't for David Frazier on the last couple of plays, these guys would be turning the corner and getting really, really huge gains. But David Frazier right now is holding together the Buchholz defense, which seems to be confused.
Down to the 28-yard line, 2nd and 7. Exactly 5 minutes to play in this game. 16-13 Buchholz, but Lake City driving. Behind Don Bradley, the quarterback. Kip Davis and Ricky Turner in the eye behind him. Take the pitch right and give up inside to Kip Davis. Gets down to about the 24-yard line.
Davis with a good run that time, and the interior of the Buchholz line is getting beat off the ball, and they're trying to arm tackle. They're not getting down and making the hard hits they did earlier in the game.
You see the Lake City sideline and Coach Joe Montgomery, who's looking for his team to go down here in the final minutes of play and possibly pull this one out after being stymied the entire first half.
Remember, they went for 2 and didn't make it, so they need a touchdown to take the lead. A field goal will only tie. They trail by 3.
And 3rd and 3 now as Bradley brings them up. He gives to Kip Davis, but now Bradley's got the ball by himself, and don't think he made it. It's going to be close.
George Fleming that time thought he had a tackle behind the line of scrimmage as he had Kip Davis. I think maybe even Bradley had made the handoff and saw that Fleming was there and took the ball back and maybe picked up a yard.
If he did, it's a heady play on the part of the quarterback.
Heady but dangerous.
So they will be short. It'll be 4th and 1.
You know they got to go for it here.
They have to.
Let's see if they go running the straight veer offense or they go some razzle-dazzle. I got to believe that they're going to do some sort of rollout right here with Don Bradley.
If not, perhaps the big fullback Kip Davis. But Buchholz is stacking the front, the middle of that line. So maybe they will try to run wide, and they'll pitch left to Ricky Turner. And he is snowed under, and he fumbles the ball. But Kip Davis is on it. With a loss of yardage, and the ball's going to go over.
We got to see where they mark it. Kip Davis came up with the fumble, and then he tried to advance the ball. It was a great hit that time, put on, I believe, by Buchholz's Sim Banks.
And they're going to give him the first down, Bobby.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to say that the runner, I believe it was Davis, was through the line, and by the time he hit the ground, the fumble occurred after the ball after he hit the ground, so he had the first down on the original advancement.
So 1st and 10 from the 23 minutes to play exactly, and Lake City with a give inside to Kip Davis.
Well, Davis hit at the line of scrimmage by Kevin Peoples, but good drive, pulls Peoples and company forward for a gain of a couple of extra yards.
Exciting game here tonight. 2:43 to play.
What a finish, and who would have thought it would have ended like this? This is amazing.
Not the way that it started out, with the Buchholz defense dominating the run and the Tiger offense unable to get anything going until in the 3rd quarter when Don Bradley started making some things go on his own with his
Look
running
at the
and
Buchholz
passing.
defensive captain, Todd Harrison, 84, getting the signal from Coach Warnicki on the sideline.
2nd and 6 from the 15-yard line. 2:18 to play, clock running. And Don Bradley throws a quick pattern. He's Scott Baker.
It's intercepted, I believe. Intercepted by Pasco Williams, I thought. I thought Williams had the interception.
Everyone's confused.
I think they called it incomplete, but clearly from where I saw it, Pasco Williams caught the ball on a deflection. I think they called it incomplete before they realized that Pasco Williams came up with the deflection. Now the officials are going to talk things over. Clearly, Ken, from where I saw it, Pasco Williams came up with the ball. It was a quick slant in. Ball intended, I believe, for Maxwell, but Pasco Williams came up with it, and I think they're going to call it incompletion.
Have to look at that for yourself.
Well, the NFL went to the replay, and maybe they should have done it in high school ball as well, because clearly that was an interception. Pasco Williams clearly came up with that ball from the way I saw it. A shame for Buchholz. 2 controversial calls on this series have hurt the Bobcats. Let's see if the defense can again rise to the occasion.
It's going to be up to them on 3rd and 6, 2:03 to play in the game, and Bradley the quarterback. And they give us to Kip Davis up the middle, and he's snowed under, so if they're going to run, the Buchholz defense isn't going to give them that at least.
Tripped up by Sieber McCray. Great penetration by McCray, undercutting the offense, and that time tripping up the runner.
1:45 to play. This one's going to go right down to the wire on 4th and 4. And now Lake City was going to take a timeout. Timeout, Tigers. But you got to believe that if Pasco Williams had been given credit for that interception, Buchholz would be running out the clock even as we speak. Instead, one of the breaks of the game. It's 1:39 to play. And
by Pasco Williams, but it was ruled an incompletion. And after a discussion of the officials,
for now, 1:39 to play from the 14-yard line of Buchholz. Don Bradley, the Tiger quarterback. This is the play of the game. But Ricky Turner was unsure of himself and moved, and they're going to get the Lake City Tigers for illegal procedure. That could cost them, and cost them big.
I believe it's going to go against Guy Messer, the left guard. Number 70, Guy Messer, I think, fired out just a little bit too early. Now, there's a lot of noise here this end of the game. Both bands going, and the bands are right about even where the signals are being called, so it's really tough to hear. And confusing, but that time clearly the left guard offside, and that will put Lake City back 5 yards.
Doyle Rooks remains on the sideline, so they will go for it. Will not go for the field goal to attempt to tie it up and send it to overtime, possibly. Instead, from
from the 19-yard line. 4th and 9 for Lake City.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it depends on the level of your kicker, and clearly they're not confident with the kicking game, so they're going to go for it. Watch Baker's foot to the right.
A minute 36. 4th and 9 for Lake City. Pitch right. Turner looking to throw. He's not going to get it, but he cuts up inside. One man to beat. He doesn't, but he gets down to about the 6.
He's close, but I don't believe he got it, Ken.
No, they're
close, but I believe he's short.
They're calling first down Buchholz, and the defense is held on 4th down. It looked like Joe Montgomery was going to try one more reach into his bag of tricks.
It's Buchholz's fault, but you got to give Lake City credit. Coach Montgomery has done a great job with this ball club. It appeared that they were down and out, but they weren't. They pulled everybody and came back and came within just a couple of feet of taking this game away from the Bobcats. So it looks as though Coach Warneke can swallow.
They should be able to run out the clock, Lake City, with just one timeout remaining.
And I'm sure Clint Alexander's just not even going to try a handoff. He'll just fall on the ball. Lake City, I believe, has only one timeout remaining.
Gainey and Moore, and Lake City jumps offside. I think that's what Clint Alexander was trying to get him to do. Maybe he was staggering his cadence a bit. And with 1:02 to play, Lake City jumps offside, so it'll be 1st and 5 Buchholz, and that about wraps things up.
Big nose guard Ron Legree, who's played a fine game with the encroachment penalty.
Really got to commend all the Lake City players. Offense, defense, they've all played a heck of a ball game.
Well, it's a tough start for Lake City, losing to Gainesville last week, as we mentioned, and facing an apparent defeat after a really, really valiant effort this evening. But I'm sure you're going to hear from the Columbia County Tigers before this season is over. I know they're disheartened right now, but they certainly can walk off this field with their heads high.
Under a minute now. 1st and 5. Alexander at the line with a 16-13 lead for his Buchholz Bobcats. And the handoff goes to Moore, the fullback, and he breaks one, gets to the 30-yard line. Nice running there, power running by the fullback Wayne Moore, who has scored a touchdown tonight.
Well, it's a pretty run by Moore, but to tell you the truth, I am a little surprised that they are running the ball. And I have to tell you something, the clock didn't move that time. The clock only ticked 1 second on the play. There was 44 seconds remaining when that play started, and only 1 second ticked off. So only 1 second was ticked off the clock that time, and now a timeout call. But to tell you the truth, I'm really surprised to Buchholz's plan anyway.
Set to go now, 1st and 10 from the 30. Everyone in tight for Buchholz. And Alexander will hand again to Moore, the fullback. As long as he keeps getting yards. He's over to the 35-yard line, a gain of 5. Apparently they have confidence in the big man, Wayne Moore. He's a sure-handed back. Buchholz may have to run one more play. They will. And then that'll be the ball game. A wild finish. 16-13 as you see the clock ticking. And I'm sure now Alexander is just going to take a knee as he goes down. And that'll do it as the clock ticks off the final seconds from Citizens Field in Gainesville. That's a final. Buchholz 16, Lake City 13. Bobby D'Alessio, your thoughts on this game tonight?
To tell you the truth, I think Buchholz was surprised. I think they mentally came in here figuring that this team was a team which was beaten at home by Gainesville, who they feel they're better than. They've beaten the Jamboree, and I think they thought they were going to come in here and pretty much have it their own way against Lake City. And it looked like it might be that way in the early going for the defense, which dominated Lake City in the first half, much as they did the Rains offense. In fact, they dominated Lake City's offense even more so than they did Rains. But the second half was a completely different story, as Lake City came out and proved that they weren't going to get pushed around the Citizens Field. They came out and surprised Buchholz with a good offensive performance, and of course, they got the good play from their quarterback and a long touchdown run by Wayne Moore in the fourth quarter to pull within 16-7, and had it not been for a couple of feet difference on a run in the fourth quarter, Buchholz might now be looking at a 1-1 record. But as it is, Buchholz 2-0 on the year as they look forward to an inner-city rival next week against the Eastside Rams at Florida Field.
We hope you'll join us for that. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's game as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Till next week, from Florida Field,